We are? That's
We're live.
fantastic.
Murphy's live with us.
Murphy is zoomed to his position. This is Murphy's driving position.
He loves to be up front in the middle of us, that's for sure.
With his paw over his dad's arm to lock him down.
So hello everyone. We are on day 6 of our 7 days straight of live streams. The goal is 7, but really we would like to get to 30 days straight. We'll see if that happens, but we wanted to start in small bits, so that way at least if we say we want to make it through 7, we can make it through 7. Small bits. So we are on day 6 of our live streams, and every day we're just answering a question that's really relevant to all of you out there that are on some kind of a healing journey, inner work journey, spiritual awakening journey, becoming the best version of yourself journey. And we have taken questions from, things that people have asked us as their mentor and guide over the last 6 years. I've curated questions from what I've seen other people ask in Facebook groups or other things like that when it comes to their own transformation journey, healing journey. And so for sure, I know all of these questions will bring you some value. I know that they're all questions that I was personally asking early on in my journey and that I still ask and still practice. So I know for sure they'll be helpful. So what you can do is, if this is the first one you're watching and you're wanting to see the others, if you go to our channel and you go on this section that says lives, if you go on that section, you'll be able to see all the previous 5 that we have done, all the previous 5 days that we have done. So you can tune in to those questions and our answers to those questions. And then if you want to continue watching us, just be sure to click subscribe and click the red bell next to subscribe so that your device will notify you when we go live each day, because we never know what time we're going to go live. We're just in the unknown. So if you click on the red bell, it will notify you, hey, they're live, and then you can hop over. So those are some of the, just to get you caught up on the logistics of it. So today, actually, I decided, I came up with 7 questions or 7 topics that we were going to cover, actually for 30 days, but the first 7 days. And this one was planned for tomorrow, but I think I want to ask it today because we're on the road and I don't have my laptop in front of me, which has the Word document with all the questions. That's the first reason. But the second reason I want to share on this today because it's active in my life right now. So I thought it was really pertinent to speak on it. So what we're going to talk about today, honey, is not just a question, but it's a question, but it's kind of a fun question, I think, for us to answer. But I'm going to go first today because you went first all the other days. How's that?
I have not said a word yet.
True, and Murphy hasn't either. Murphy hasn't said a word yet either. Okay, so the topic for today, dun dun dun, drum roll please, boys. I would like to hear a drum roll.
Wait. That's not that bad, actually.
No, that was pretty good. Hey, you get a gold star if you can name the movie that's from, what he's doing that from. You get a gold star if you can name it in the comments. Anyway, so the question for today is, what is the only one biggest thing you learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza? Considering him and I have gone to many, many, many of Dr. Joe's retreats. We haven't in the last 4 years. 4 years, yeah, it's been 4 years. But what is the biggest thing that you walked away with, learned? So you can have a few minutes while you think about that, while I answer. How's that?
10.
And you can only pick one thing, honey. You can't pick 2. The one biggest, no, Murphy, we're not going down there. He wants to go down by my feet. So, the biggest thing that I have learned is that I still utilize to this day in my life is to always be willing to jump into the unknown. Like the unknown will never let you down. I think that's the words you used to use. I could be wrong, but basically that the unknown will never let you down. That the unknown is always where you want to be. And I look at all the really big moments in my life, big moments that changed the trajectory of my life. big moments that led to the life that I live now, and every single time it was a leap into the unknown. And I'll give you guys an example of a more recent experience of this in my life. So Scott and I have been coaching, mentoring for about 6 years now, and about 3 years ago, I decided that we should maybe do our own like courses and working with people. And so I started a coaching course where I was specifically working with women. And it was really about creating a space of safety to dive into healing the root and the sacral, and to connecting with their crown and their third eye, and really opening up their chakras. And so I did that for about 2.5 years. And I loved doing it. However, it always felt a little off to me inside. Internally, it was like something felt off, and I didn't know what. And, you know, I remember him and I going on walks in Florida, and me trying to explain to him, like, it just feels like something's off, and I can't put my finger on what. So we had reached a point where I was feeling burnt out, overwhelmed. I wasn't connecting even anymore to what I was doing. I found myself not even wanting to get on the weekly calls. I wasn't practicing my spiritual practices. I was meditating every day, but I was doing as a checklist item. So I was just, the whole time I was meditating, I was busy in my mind. So I wasn't really like connecting and trying to move beyond the mind. And what happened was we ended up attending a 3-day ketamine-assisted mindfulness retreat in the Catskills of PA. And in those 3 days, and I had never done ketamine before. In those 3 days, we had a journey every morning, ketamine journey each morning. And in those 3 journeys, I no longer could deny those feelings that had been building inside of me about what I was doing, because it was in my face of who I really was, that I was trying to hide from the world because I was scared, what I really need to be doing. And it wasn't like, it just told me basically, we all have free will as human beings. We have free will. And you can keep using your free will to do what you think is what the best thing to do is. But you're gonna have a low level of suffering, basically, until you actually step into who you really are. And up until that point, I was thinking, you know, Scott and I were really feeling like we wanted to do something together again, but the coaching courses were just getting, I don't know, more challenging and difficult. And I didn't, you know, I had, if I'm being truthful, I had the thoughts I built this entire course. It took me a long time. I can't just throw that all away. I can't just throw everything away that I've worked towards. I can't throw it all in the garbage. And for what? Like, I don't even know what we're supposed to do. I just know it's not this. And when we came back, I once again in my life had to say, I can't do this anymore. It's been an underlying knowing, but I was trying to ignore it because I was trying to do the rational thing, the reasonable thing, the thing that would keep bringing money in, you know, that I was good at, but yet wasn't necessarily sparking that deep fulfillment in me. And I had to be willing to jump in the unknown, totally. And we did, fully. I mean, we decided to not only not continue doing my coaching business, to pivot and shift into doing something pretty different, which is in-person retreats, which was totally different, and decided at the same time to get in our RV and go live on the road full time, having no home, no home base. And we had no idea for how long, where, what. We knew nothing. We just knew, okay, we want to start putting on these retreats. We don't know anything about ketamine. we're just going to get on the road and go to the first place that we're going to have the retreat at. There have been fucking challenging moments. Very, very bring you to your knees challenging moments. However, I have never felt more aligned or on purpose or in my dharma as I have in the last year since then. It's been a year. It was a year. We were here a year ago going to that retreat. So as you transform and change and evolve, those opportunities don't end. It's not like, oh, I've reached this enlightened place and no challenges come or no opportunities to grow deeper come. I realized in those 3 days when we decided to jump in the unknown again, when I decided to jump in the unknown again, that my ego had slowly and quietly grown over those previous 2 years, and the ego thrives in familiarity. It thrives in the known. It thrives in the safety. That's where the ego thrives. And so I had to be humble enough to go, oh shit, yeah, I'm not the one creating all of this. It's something much more wise than my ego identity self. And I had to be willing to look in the mirror and realize that and go, okay, here we go. Once again, another big giant leap into the unknown. And as always, as I learned from Dr. Joe, I learned many things from Dr. Joe Dispenza, but I think that's the thing that has been the most influential for me in my life and the most life-changing is the unknown will never let you down. And before I hand it over to him, I will say this. When you go to take that leap, it is fucking terrifying. And everything in you is not going to want to jump into the unknown. Biologically, we are wired to evolve, which means we are wired to look for safety and stay away from danger so that we can continue to live. So biologically, your entire being will fight you to jump into the unknown. So you have to have a spiritual will that is stronger than that need for safety. And it's not easy, but it's always worth it, for sure. There you go, honey.
What?
That was my answer to
What's
the question. Now it's your.
My turn for what?
What is the biggest
We're
thing?
still doing this? We're still on right now?
What is
long?
I know. Well, I had a lot to share.
Well, mine will not be that long, I promise you. Somebody has their foot on my dashboard, which she knows that's a pet peeve of mine.
I know, but I have to hold up my arm.
Whatever. What's the question again? I forgot it from when you first announced it.
Oh my gosh, you normally
2
talk
hours ago.
for hours.
No,
you
go
just
on.
can't stand it.
I kid.
Okay.
I kid. What's the question now?
So, what is the biggest thing, the one biggest thing that you've taken away that you learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Well, a lot of,
One. You only get one thing.
I know. Been to a lot of them. Met a lot of people. Saw a lot of people struggling.
Minutes to think about it.
Well, yeah, but you're going on and on. Derailed me. I was thinking about, about these roads that I'm very grateful for all the roads that we have. I just wish they were a little bit better with not.
What is one thing that you learned from
fall
Dr. Joe that you continuously apply in your life?
All right. Then I continue. I don't know. I guess the connection to that soul or whatever is the real you, right? That connection, and to trust it and to allow it to guide you and to connect to it more and more, and knowing that you are connecting to it, which maybe that's the biggest thing. I was very fortunate. I was able to connect to that very early on, and that's really why my journey, because when you have that Kundalini experience, out-of-body experience, whatever experience you want to call it, there's no turning back. It is it is a magical moment that you realize, what the hell just happened to me? And I need to do that again. And I think that probably for me, that was the number one for me, is that connection, making that connection. There you go, that's it. That's all I got, man.
That's all you got for today?
Just driving.
I went on and on and on today.
Me
It
too.
was
There you go.
okay. Well, that's it for today.
That's it for today.
The two biggest things we have learned is the unknown will never let you down, and the connection to God, spirit, soul, universe, whatever word you want to give it that fits your narrative, I guess you could say.
Narrative. Yes.
So we will be back tomorrow. We have one last day of the 7 days, and then we'll see if we keep going. Right, honey? We'll see if we keep
will
going
see.
to day 8, because I have all sorts of great topics to cover for 30 days. So remember, subscribe, click the bell, and you'll be notified tomorrow when we go live for the last day of the 7 days. I'm going to make the question so profound, it will knock your freaking socks off. How about that?
How can you argue?
Ah.
Okay.
All right, everybody, have a wonderful Sunday, and we will see you tomorrow on Monday. Now let's see if I can